Alright, I got the instrument whenever you're ready.
Go ahead. I'm already live. Oh, I love that song. Hey, everybody. Hey. I love that track. That playing in the background, that's Ambitious, So Ambitious by Jay-Z and Pharrell. I love that song. Hey. Hey, how are you? You know the way I am. Whether it's one of you, two of you, three of you, four of you, or a million of you, I am going to keep going because you guys have been giving me feedback and I truly, truly appreciate it. I truly do. Tonight's guest of honor, I can't wait for her to come on and get logged on. Just waiting for her. You may hear my dogs barking in the background. They're kind of mad because I'm not with them at this moment. They're kind of clingy. And that's another thing we're going to talk to her about. Dr. Krista Hagens. Hello, hello. And I thank you all for coming. This is our third episode on YouTube. We have over 1,000. Let me say that again. Over 1,000 viewers. And you know, it's kind of hard to do it live, but our last live, I think it was 30 views total live. So, ooh, y'all know I'm real. I got lipstick on my teeth, see? So I just want to say thank you so much for showing so much support. I tried to do this platform, you know, to support people with businesses. I'm not going to say small businesses because the same business you call a small business is probably going to be in the Forbes list, okay? So I'm going to try to see where's our guest. Also, March 26th, my album is coming out. Oh, there she is. If you can, try to request to come on. My album comes out March 26th. Blue Jean 3 years ago. Already have over 100,000 streams, and I'm just thankful. Very, very thankful.
Hi, can you see me okay?
Gorgeous. I see you.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Thank you.
You get two of us.
See, that's right. That's right.
Okay?
Yep, I see.
Let me
Yes, I
pretty good.
do.
This is Miss Bella.
She's not even looking. She don't care. She's not even looking. Well, everybody, again, I want to say thank you for tuning in. Tonight's guest and tonight's show, it's really near and dear to my heart because I am interviewing to you all Dr. Krista Hagens, and she's under 30, okay? African-American female, under 30. She's a doctor. Not only is she a doctor, but to me, she's known as my little sister. I was going back and forth saying, okay, should I say this is my little sister? Should I not? But I just want to let you know that I'm proud of you. And I want everyone to know, like I say, how near and dear this show is to me. Because, of course, we're talking about caregivers. And, of course, we want to get to know you a little bit because you are a veterinarian. Oh, look.
He didn't want to stay. He doesn't like camera time.
Not only is she a veterinarian, let me tell you about her. She went to MSU. Please forgive me because I'm a little nervous, you know how it is. But she went to MSU.
It's a world.
Hey, she graduated, and when I seen her walk across that stage, I was like, that's my sister. That's my girl. That's my girl. I'm proud of you, girl. She was a part of Midnight Golf in high school, and she's a Detroit Public School alumni. And not only that, I call her a real life Dr. McStuffins. Okay, that's what you are. So
Thank you.
tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, what did you major in, and what made you go into veterinarian medicine versus, I guess you can say, people medicine? Because people can tell you what's wrong. Animals can't. They
Yeah.
either gonna bite you or they gonna whimper. So what made you go into that?
Well, for starters, I like a little bit of a challenge, and animals are that. It takes a lot to take that next step to try to read them. They do talk to us all the time. It's just, are we listening? There's body language and there's different changes that they do, and it's not always going to be verbal. They don't always bark and whine at certain things. So I like that challenge. I think I knew at a young age that I always wanted to be a veterinarian. So my mom will tell you that when I was 2, I would take her good washcloths and go and examine the dog and wipe his face and his paws. And this is a rock that we're talking about, not no little choochie. um, so that was always my thing. And then when I got into uh, elementary school, that's what I told them that's what I wanted to do. And I love science. I love math. And to me, that was a go-to to get to where I wanted to be. And it just came easy to me. Everything was nice and I enjoyed it. And then I got to vet school and it was definitely a challenge. They say the first or the hardest part is getting in. I think the hardest part was staying in. I don't know if that's the case for everybody, but with myself and my colleagues, it was definitely a challenge. But finding that community to help pull us through and knowing that we're in this together and having a good support group, especially in anything you do, not just veterinary medicine, but having a good support group is important in your passion too. You cannot do it alone. Anybody who says they did this all on their own, they probably didn't. Somebody behind the scenes somewhere helped them. If not close to them or afar or within the business world, they got help somewhere. So I am very grateful for that. My family, you, and my mother, my dad, my aunt, my uncle, everybody who pitched in, and my sisters. So that was definitely helpful. And then as far as where I am right now, I'm an emergency veterinarian. And when I first went through vet school, emergency was very intimidating. It's on the spot. You never know what's going to come in. Things are dying. Things are coming in for just a broken toenail. I mean, it could range anywhere in between. And how do you just go straight to what you need to do? You don't really have the time to sit and think or, let me go read up on this real quick. You don't have that time. And so emergency veterinarian was not what I wanted to do at first. It just was too scary. So I went on a large path of back and forth in what I wanted to do. I still knew I wanted to be a veterinarian, but it didn't get real to the point where I was in my 3rd or 4th year of vet school where it's like, okay, you're going to be a veterinarian. Now, what kind of veterinarian do you want to be? Because there's so many fields. Just like human medicine, there's so many fields within that. You can be behind a screen. You could be behind a microscope. You could be with large animals. You could be with small animal, exotics, marine, in the zoo. You could work with the government. So there was lots of possibilities. I started off with saying a surgeon. And then I revisited another love, which was cardiology. And then I found out, it was pretty tough trying to get into the internships and residencies. I didn't know if I wanted to fight that much right now. So I went to another route of being an oncologist. And then I was like, okay, this is good. And then I found out the residencies were so far from home that I had to choose from. For me, coming out of vet school, it was getting to a point where there was a lot going on at home with family. And these were precious moments, precious times. And I didn't want to miss out on those things. So I decided oncology, it can still be in my future, but it's not the fit for me right now. I want to stay close to home. So then I revisited being a surgeon again. I liked working with my hands. I liked being able to have an animal come in and I legit fix it and know that it's walking out perfect. It was just being able to see it. There are still other parts of medicine where it almost becomes a puzzle, and I commend everybody who has those parts within veterinary medicine. But then I found out I didn't like on-call. I didn't like being on the spot in the middle of the night. I cannot relax knowing with my phone sitting right next to me that I might have to go in. And I've had a long day. And what does that mean for my family? So I don't think it was a fit for me. I went back to oncology again.
Okay.
And so it was just definitely a back and forth. But during that time, I got to do an internship that was a heavy emergency base, but it was still a rotating internship. So I still got to taste everything. And then I found I loved emergency medicine. And I was like,
see, you didn't even want to do it.
The one thing I knew for sure I was running from in the beginning is sitting in my lap, and I'm in love with it. So that's where I ended up. I'm in emergency medicine right now. So I see pretty much anything that fits through the door. If you have a little baby cow that fits through the door too, I will see it. We've since changed a little bit of our protocol of the animals we're seeing based on our caseload and things like that. But yeah, I get to see lots of things now, and I love it.
Wow. Do you have your wine with you? Because you know it's
I do, sis. Okay, so
look, y'all know I like my barefoot now. I'm trying to strawberry this time, and you see where it's at.
Oh, I see. Okay, I gotta catch up. I don't have that much of a fancy wine or anything. I just have it's a peach flavored wine. I like the sweets, and then I decided to put some little fruit in there too. Let that.
Oh, you want a fancy, yeah.
So at the end, I get to eat the fruit and get a little surprise.
And you know, one thing I gotta admit, one thing I do like. See, wait a minute, don't try to start without me now. One thing I do like.
Sip slow.
Here we go. Ready? Black girl magic. Here we go. Oh yeah. One thing I like about barefoot, you know, we always telling the kids, this is grown-up juice. This is really grown-up juice because it is sweet, but at the same time, that buzz sneak up on you like, okay, y'all can go watch TV. Go ahead, go get you a Capri Sun, you know?
Yes.
So yeah, I'm liking this. And another thing, you know, I know you had said that my makeup was nice today. You know, I got on my lip gloss. Isn't that cute?
All right. I have on mine too. I don't know if you can see it well. It's chocolate. It tastes like chocolate too. It smells good. And I've actually had this on, don't judge me, since the beginning of the day. I took my shower, I put it on. It's been on and it's been perfect the whole day through. Like I haven't needed to reapply it. Nice and soft. But I got it from the same creator you did.
Oh, yes, Miss Tyra Goss. Let me tell you, this is good. What I love about it, it's not too sticky. You know, it's not like, you know, sticky where you like, blah, blah, you know. It's long lasting, and you see I got my blue. So with the blue, it's like, it's not a lipstick, but it still gives me that little tint. So even I have like a pink lipstick up under here. So it still gave me a darker tint, but even if I don't have lipstick, it still gives me a nice little tint, like a blue tint. So I was like, and it come in this. This is so cute. Fit for Empress.
Oh gosh, that is pretty. Look at those rhinestones. Wait, I think I have a card. Oh,
yes.
Okay?
And if you guys want
that's pretty.
lip gloss, okay, I'm telling you, y'all think I'm playing. No, this is really nice, and it even has glitter in it. Go to Tyra, Tyra, Goss, Goss, at gmail.com. She's all the way in Ohio. I am in Detroit, and y'all know me. I support businesses, and like I say, we don't say small businesses because the same business you see today that may be operated out of the house may be operated out of a factory the next week, and they're in the Forbes list, okay? So I'm telling you. And I have not even reapplied this, and I done drunk some wine, okay? And I'm still shining, okay? Now, before we get into our main topic with being a caregiver, I have to ask this. A lot of people are always talking about, oh, I put a flea collar on my dog or my cat, but they still end up with fleas. What is your take on the flea collar situation versus either taking the flea treatment internally or on the outside?
I gotcha. So I'm a little up and down on flea collars. It works for some. It does not work for all. I've even tried one, which I won't say the name, because again, it may work for some. I tried it out on my dogs, which I have some of dogs, some of this, some of that, but your average pitty mix. And they broke out. They were very allergic to it. So that did not fit for them at all. But
Now, what is it?
in
I don't mean to
regard,
cut you off. I don't mean to cut you off,
yeah.
but what is it that you say you use because your camera had turned off or was interrupted a little bit?
Oh, I'm sorry. So it was, oh, maybe I should put this here. I might be able to help with that. Let me know if that makes it any better. It'll
We can
change in
see
just a
better.
second. Okay. So I did try a flea collar.
Okay.
Okay. And it didn't work the best for them because they were allergic to it. They broke out in hives, very itchy, and so they were allergic to it. So I had to try something different. But in regards to using flea collars and still seeing fleas on your dog, the flea collar is up here. And so it is dispersed throughout their skin and it will make it there eventually, but it's focused up here, the main treatment. Dogs like the hindquarters. So if your dog's biting, chewing, licking at those.
You're kind of going in and out. Don't worry, the internet has been going in and out. She will be back. Okay, there she is.
Okay,
Yep.
sorry.
No. Oh, you're fine.
Yeah,
You're good.
so you have the fleas back here, but you have the collar up here. It's a difference. So it's not as effective or good distribution of the product as it could be for something else. So a topical treatment may be better as long as they can handle it again, because each dog is different. And that is applied directly to the skin. And then it will diffuse and make its way to where it needs to be. There's other things that they've come up with now, which are chews, which there's different types of chews. There's chews that last for a month, and there's chews that last for 3 months for those who forget to give it to their dog every month.
Gotcha.
And so just finding out what works best for them. If you are planning on doing a chew, though, if your dog has any type of beef allergy or chicken allergy, make sure you're reading those ingredients because a lot of them are going to be flavored, so your dog will eat it. But if it has chicken in there and your dog's allergic to chicken, then we've just set up with another problem. They're going to have a reaction to that because you've now given them chicken. It's not necessarily a reaction to the product. Does that make sense as far as the medication in the product? So that's something just to pay attention to if you're doing an oral product versus a topical. And then always making sure that you're getting the product that's appropriate for your size dog or size cat. And then making sure you're putting dog products on a dog and cat products on a cat. Do not put the dog product on a cat. You will come see me at emergency medicine. The cat gonna be twitching. That's all right. We'll fix it, but you'll learn not to do it again.
I know that's right. And I think before you were telling me it's better to, if I give her, for example, if I give my dog a bath on Sunday, don't put the treatment on them until like Tuesday or Wednesday. Why is that? Because I'm used to just washing them and then putting the treatment on because I don't need no little critters coming in the house. I ain't feeding nobody else now.
Yes, I mean, it takes a little bit of time. You want to make sure the pores closed, they're dry and everything, and then just wait a little bit of time before putting it on, even a day between. You don't want to put it on your immediately wet dog. It's different if you're doing an oral treatment. And again, not as vested with the collar situation. Again, if it works for you, it works for you. I just haven't really dived into it that much because I haven't found it as effective.
Okay.
But yeah.
Now, one thing I want to get into, and like I say, this show is near and dear to my heart. You're able to be around the person that I'm talking about, our dad. You're able to be around him more. With me, I'm there when I can, but of course I have seizures. So it's hard to be with him and then I have a seizure. Then it's like, because my dad has dementia or our dad has dementia. And I know that mom's the primary caregiver and you're
amazing.
Right, you're second in charge, I guess you can say. And then when they can't, it's you guys, I'm there and everything. But one thing I want to ask is how long have you been doing it or when did you notice that the dementia had started kicking in your opinion?
Yeah, so in hindsight, it seems like it's been a long time when really it's just been a few years. But it has been a slow progression. Some things that you see is that they will repeat some of the things that you're like, you literally just said this, or you told me this, or you've mentioned something to them, and then they have no clue that you've mentioned it to them. Or they forget certain dates, forget certain things. With that being said, men forget a lot of dates. But yeah, it's just the little things that you start to notice, or they start to seem a little disoriented. They don't know how to perform certain tasks that they used to know how to perform. And unfortunately, it only gets worse. It doesn't get necessarily better. You can help to slow down the process with different things like diet change, medication, activities that are going to stimulate the mind. But it's going to be a process that you have to come to terms with, that the person I'm with today may not even be the same person that I'm with tomorrow. And giving that patience and allowing that time for them to go through whatever they're going through, because it's hard for them too. I can't imagine, knowing that I used to do certain things and now I can't do them myself. I need someone else to help me. Or all I want to ask for is, can you buy me a bag of chips? Or can you bring me a donut? And yet I cannot say it. I can't even say the words. And people are looking at me crazy. And to them, I assume it makes perfect sense that you should understand what I'm saying. But we don't. And so it's just having that patience, learning to work around things. Yeah.
How were you able to, I guess you can say, get through school? Because I know you were telling me that a lot of people that you started out with the first day, not even the freshman year, just the first day, you didn't see them throughout the year, and then you didn't see them at graduation. So how did you, and I commend you for that, because like I say, you're there with them more. How did you get through that graduating school and becoming a veterinarian and getting all the proper paperwork to say you are a legit doctor while still being a caregiver, and you're young, you're under 30, and still being able to have, I guess you can say, a social life, because you are a great dancer as well. Like salsa dancing now. She ain't on the pole now. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but but how did you, I guess you could say, maintain how do you maintain a social life and graduating but still being a caregiver
at home? So it goes, for the first part of staying in a vet school with all those things going on, it goes back to the part of the hardest part isn't necessarily getting
rose up again.
Am I back?
There you go. There you go.
Okay, so it's finding that balance, and the balance that you start with is going to constantly change. So it keeps you on your toes, and then making sure you're staying in touch with home. And so that was important for me. I'm very close to family. Like, I know that I have to separate certain things, but it's allowing different time. So this time I'm going to study, and I'm going to do nothing but study. And I'm going to put my phone on, not necessarily do not disturb, but emergency kind of things only. And then when you're allowing time for family, that time is for family. Studying is not necessarily for that time. If it's kind of down and family's like, you know what, it's okay if you do, just having someone there is okay. So I went to school about an hour away from home. And so I would visit constantly. I needed that as much as I guess they needed me. So having that connection and going back. And at one point, especially when I got my car, I was coming back almost every weekend when I had free time. And then mama was finally like, hey, you got to slow up. Focus on your school. We love you here, but focus. And so it was okay. And having them be able to give me that blessing was okay too, because you almost feel like it's not a burden, but it's your responsibility, where I need to come back and I need to check in. But the other party letting you know, it's okay, we got this. If we need you, we'll let you know, is important too. So it's on a two-way street. Everybody just has to be in communication But there were those times where, okay, family didn't necessarily need me or need to see me,
Mhm.
but I needed them. Um, and so it was that nice give and take too, as well. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
What would you say is the hardest task? Because I know with dementia patients, it's not Alzheimer's. I may be pronouncing that word wrong, but with dementia patients, for me or with my dad, it's actually hard to know that if anybody know my dad, they know he gonna tell you like it is, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he's not gonna hold back. He love you, but he gonna let you know you was wrong or what he wants. He'll let you know.
Mm-hmm.
But now I notice it's kind of hard trying to understand him when he speak, and when I try to, even remotely think that I know what he's talking about, he gets frustrated, and it's very hard for me to notice that and see that, like, Lord, I can't communicate with them, but
Yeah.
of course, when you call on God, of course
Mm-hmm.
that line of communication, it gets better. It's like, okay, we got this. So for you, what is a hard task for you?
Um, I think patience is key. And even the most patient person comes to a point where it is overwhelming at sometimes. And then just making sure that you are allowing them that grace. Uh, because someday we are all going to get to that point, whether it's 60, 70, 100, who knows? Someday somebody's going to have to cater to you. Someday somebody's going to have to fill in the blanks that you necessarily are not, you know, putting out there or not making plain. And it's not by choice. I'm sure you would, but you just can't. And so somebody has to speak up and be the voice for you. And so, in trying to communicate, knowing that he can't say certain things, looking at what he's looking at. So what is he pointing to? Or what does whatever he's saying, what does it sound like? What's something that agitates him if he's upset? So if you and knowing them prior to all of this happening is important too. You know certain things they like, you know certain things they don't like. And so keeping those things in mind too. He likes a Coke, bring him a Coke, Diet Coke, Coca-Cola. Uh, so I mean, those are things that make them smile, and they didn't have to ask for it, or they were trying to, and you just didn't know it. Not all the time are you going to get it right. No, you're not a mind reader. You're not. Even suggesting certain things that, oh, it's about time that they need this, and they may not remember that. So, all right, it's been a few hours. They might need to go to the restroom now, but they're just sitting there chilling. I don't know if they forgot that they might need to go or they're waiting. And so, hey, you need to go to the restroom. And a lot of times they may say no, but also keeping a smile, keeping a good spirit, and hey, I'll go with you. You know, I'll wait on you right outside the door. And all of a sudden they gotta go.
Right, right.
Are you hungry? No, you're not hungry. All right, start cooking. Cook things they like, the smells, bring it in front. And then all of a sudden they're eating ravenously. They were hungry, but not all the time does their words match what they want. Do you want some more? No. As they're shaking their head, yes, and they're giving you a plate. You understand that yes is really what they want, but they said no. Um, do you like this? You know, different things like that. It doesn't always match up, but reading the body language is important too. Um,
Mhm.
in that. So verbal communication almost it goes very low on your interaction with them. You have to pay attention to a lot more things now.
Right, right.
I would say that would
And
probably be the most difficult thing is patience.
I understand. And one main reason I asked that, because I don't know if everybody remembers or knows, but on Facebook, there was a video going around of an African American woman and a Caucasian female. The
Yeah.
Caucasian female, she was an older female, she needed
Hmm.
care, and we assumed that she had
Yeah.
dementia. And in one video, she was spitting and throwing things, at the assumed caregiver. But then there was another video that a lot of people didn't
Yeah.
pass on. For some reason, people like to be negative. There was another
Yeah.
video. She was dancing and she was interacting, and she was doing fine. Do you
Hmm.
ever have issues like that with dad? I've had a
Yeah.
few issues, not with the spitting or anything, but
Yeah.
with being stubborn, I guess you can say. Have you really had any issues? And if you have, how have you worked that out?
Yeah. I mean, I saw those videos and I thought it was definitely night and day, but it definitely hit home. I don't know what type of relationship they were. I'm just assuming that, you know, like you did, that there was a mental illness somewhere, but
Mm-hmm.
it hit home because, again, the person you see today might be a totally different person you see tomorrow. It can be as quick as the person you see right now, a couple minutes later is totally different. Or it's almost like a reset. Like we're in the same position that we were before, or we're at the same questions that we asked before. And so, in regards to that, aggression is a big part of dementia.
Mm-hmm.
As it progresses, it seems like the aggression gets worse, whether it's physical or whether it's verbal. Even tone is important. And we talked about sometimes you can't actually say words, but the tone and things is different. And so that's where you got to be humble and you definitely got to pray, Lord, I need you to come in and take over my mind and work through me and make sure that he knows that I love him and I'm doing the right things and put me aside because the inside me wants to go back and forth and be combative. But then the right side of me, after thinking it through, and the godly side of me knows that he doesn't mean these things, not at all.
Right.
He's always been a stern dad, but he's been loving. He's been caring. He's
Mm-hmm.
been a people person. And I know that this is not completely him. Um, Part of it could be he's upset because he can't get certain things across. Um, Part of it could be he's upset with the situation he's in, but a lot of it he has no control over. And so that's where the patient kicks in again, the patience kicks in again to kind of ride it out and to make sure you're staying in a nice tone. You're staying loving. You're staying in a good place while all this is happening. Because you coming back 10 times harder, and a lot of times you're going to be able to overpower these people, is
Mm-hmm.
not going to help any situation. You've just not only messed up some trust there because you now have attacked me in a point where I was very vulnerable, but also you won't feel good about that either. And it doesn't help their situation. And then we're still in this bad place and nothing got settled, nothing got solved. So it's just living with them in that moment, um, trying to redirect their energy a lot of times, um, which, as far as I'm trying to think, has there been any complete instances? I mean, I've seen him get frustrated on some things that he can't do, and then it definitely escalates. And then it's just taking a moment to, what is something they like? How can I change the situation? It might not always involve talking to them. He definitely loves dancing. So if he's sitting there and he's angry at the moment, and it's almost like they get into a zone sometimes,
Yeah.
trying to break that train of thought is important. So I'll turn on some music and I'll dance
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll invite him. And then sure enough, this biggest grin ever comes on his face and it's
Mm-hmm.
almost like it's forgotten. And it probably is. But the sooner you're able to pull them out of those moments, the better it is for the situation. But also knowing that some days you're not going to be able to pull them out of those moments. And you just have to wait it out. It will not last forever. It will not. And I promise you, but just waiting it out and making sure you're staying in a good mindset. Which in that video, seeing that lady, again, I don't know what kind of relationship they had, but there were
Mm-hmm.
so many comments on it, negative comments. And at first I was like, oh goodness, she did a lot. She took a number
Right.
and everybody's talking about all these things that they would have did. There was even different videos where they showed violence in the video. And I'm like, this is not okay. How about you take a step back and you look at the situation? And I think that lady in that situation did a great job at patience, riding it out. It's not about, who's the winner here because you reacting in a negative way, you're not necessarily the winner. What did you gain from that? Um, and you could see it was some disgust on her face, but every action does not cause for a reaction,
That's right.
or at least you can take a moment to think of what should I do next? What's going to be the best thing to do next? And I think she did a great job at that. And just, knowing that, okay, yes, I'm unhappy right now. And if you are not able to take that positive step to redirect that attention, just taking a pause with yourself because you are still human. These things are still going to affect you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't say nothing nice or you can't think of the right thing to do, just
Don't
pause on
say.
your own. take a breather. It will come to you in a moment. Realize that you're in that moment and let it go, and then move forward.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How would you, I guess, explain it to a child? Because our nephew, oh, that
Mm-hmm.
boy is smart. When I say he's smart, sometimes I'll be looking like, go sit down, you're too smart. You're too smart. But how would you explain it to a child? I guess you can say under 10. Because let me tell you what our nephew did. He did this. He asked me, he said, one time when it was, just starting, he said, what's wrong with Jeepa? That's their name
Mm-hmm.
for granddad, Jeepa. He said, what's wrong with
Mm-hmm.
Jeepa? And I explained it to him once. And I told him, I said, you know how your stomach may hurt and how you don't want to be bothered, or how this may hurt or that may hurt and you don't want to be bothered? I said, his brain is sick. So sometimes
Mm-hmm.
he does not want to be bothered. And when I explained to him, like, your brain is still a part of your body, so that could get hurt too. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like his whole demeanor changed when he
Mm-hmm.
interacted with dad. One minute he may say, Jeepa, want to do such and such? And dad may say, no, I don't want to do that. And then 2 minutes later, he'll go back. And it surprised me because he'll ask
Mm-hmm.
him differently. And the dad's like, yeah, let's do that. And it's like, that boy is smart. But for some of the kids that may not be used to the situation, what would you tell aunties and uncles or moms and
Mm-hmm.
dads? What is your opinion on how to explain it to children
Well, for
when Juma
starters,
or
our
Jeepa?
nephews, our nephews are great. Our sister has done a
Yes.
great job with them. They're very caring and loving off rip.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and so getting them to understand it, constantly, I would remind them, because Jeepa is not always in this upbeat, lovey-dovey mood. We just talked about aggression is going to be a part. So when he's at a point where he's arguing at them and they're like, well, what did I do? What happened? What flipped the
Right.
switch? Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just always remind them that, hey, Jeepa is not the same Jeepa. He loves you. Um, he's just not quite here right now. And he would love to be, but he's not. And so he's not the same person. So we just have to react different as far as we need to take a moment, and then give him again that grace. And so I've seen our nephews help, especially the oldest. He definitely chimes in with Jeepa. And that's the one that Jeepa has the most interactions with as far as aggression.
Yes.
But yet the next moment he's right there and he's like, let me help you with your shoes. Jeepa, let me put
Uh-huh.
on your socks. Jeepa, you want something to eat? I've even seen him where Jeepa has had, he's a diabetic. Jeepa has had a cookie today, and here we go with the oldest has a bag of chips or some candy, and he over here slipping candy to Jeepa. And I'm like, okay, but
That's their relationship.
is it worth messing up that right now? That's their thing. That's their bond. And you can see that he's appreciative of it too, even if he doesn't say it. But just letting them know that also he's not the same person, but his mindset is almost like a kid sometimes, as far as him having dementia. And I tell him that, and our nephews are so caring, or some kids can be so caring that they understand, okay, how I can help my baby brother. Okay, this might be the same way I need to help Chico. And it just chimes in for them. It just clicks for them for that. But constantly reminding them, especially in those moments where nobody knows what's happening, hey, this is a totally different person we're dealing with. The person we know will come back in a minute, but this person right now is a little bit different. And we just have to get to know them too, because that person is going to revisit. And it can be a vicious battle of multiple people, or even a back and forth of two personalities, which even is a little bit different too, because our dad does, he does suffer with being bipolar. So that's the thing too. I don't know how bad it is for everybody with dementia, but having those different things, it definitely makes it a little bit tougher. And you just ride the wave.
Yeah. Here's another thing. How does animals play a part? Because I know some people get service dogs or therapy dogs, or service animals, therapy animals with it. But in your opinion, because I know Dad kind of took your cat. Your cat is his best friend, okay? He'll even hire sometime, like, nope, she's not in here.
Yeah.
I'm like, I
Uh-huh.
hear her meowing, Dad. What's going on? How would you say that animals have affected Dad? Because I know some people
Yeah.
may be watching this and say, I don't like dogs, but you're
Yeah.
taking care of your mom or dad with dementia. So how would you say that animals, oh, you're fine, animals help in the healing process or the coping mechanism?
Yeah. So I definitely have a bias because I do love animals. I love them, oh my gosh, so much. Sometimes I love them more than the humans I'm with. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe. But I feel like there is nothing that touches a human animal bond. And so we talked about a little bit earlier how communicating does not always mean verbal. And I feel like they have a different connection and communication there. They can tell when you're sad. The moment a tear hits my face, Bella was already over here before the tear even made it here. She could tell my mood changed. And it's almost like, okay, mom needs comfort right now. Let me just be that for her. This is the
Right.
person I love dear to my heart. And sometimes you're the only person they ever see. For single people who don't necessarily keep in touch with their family, that pet may be the only, connection that they have. And that's the only person that that pet sees. So you are their world. And so I definitely see him on a day-to-day basis with the connection with Kasani. That's her name, the cat.
The cat.
And she's just there. And so even when he picks her up, sometimes it's painful for her, and she yelps in pain because of how he picked her up. She's not the skinny as a cat; she's a little chunky. Um, but she even will sit there and still love on him. She understands it wasn't intentional. She can still sense that this is my person. Um, Almost a little bit of possession, but then also having that interaction of them just wanting to be loving. You can get after them where they did something wrong, they're in the trash, and okay, I'm sorry for it, is their response. And then the moment after that, they've totally let go of whatever you did to chastise them, and now they're back at the lovey-dovey moment. And
Mhm.
so I think as humans, sometimes we need to take a page from their book sometimes. Let it go. Why are you holding on to certain things? You making
Yeah.
yourself sick because the person that you are upset with, it is not bothering them. Please believe they
Right.
are living their lives. And animals, they don't necessarily hold that grudge with their
Mhm.
owners or people that they love or people that they care for. They're like, okay, we had a moment to the lovey-dovey side. Um,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, Cuba, you're just stepping all over me.
The Cubas, that's the other cat. Yep. That's the other
Yeah,
baby.
he's dancing in the back here shortly. He's making his way across the couch. Hopefully he doesn't fall into us.
We have someone, I hope I do not butcher your name. I read the comment and wow. I
Yes,
think it's
please.
Heisenberg Wolf says that children under the age of 12 do not have a fully developed analytical mind. So it makes it easier for them to change how they behave in their environment because they are not constantly trying to process.
Ooh,
Wow. Good
gosh,
point. See, you
Natalie.
learn something new every day. Even if you knew it, it's like people comment and it brings it to the light and it's like never really thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
Never really thought about that. And I'm not going to hold you too much longer, but now there's a lot of people, like I said, their mom or dad or aunt or uncle, maybe living with them and need a caregiver. What made, and I'm so thankful that you and mom did not do this. What was the deciding factor in not placing him in a nursing home? Because mom and dad, they have been together. Let's see, I'm 34, and mom and dad has been together, happily married for 36 years. Reason I know because they make sure they drill it in my head. 2
Is it
years.
36 or 37?
It's 36. Well, it will be 37 this year because
Okay.
they've been together 4 years before I was born, married 2 years before I was born. So, ha! But what
Okay.
was the deciding factor in not placing him into a nursing home versus letting him stay home?
I think it's finding, which I won't knock anyone who does that because not everybody can allow the time that we have for that. It just may not be possible. Um, But if it's something that you can do, knowing that this is a loved one, knowing that, again, you may be in this situation someday, what would you want to do? Which that doesn't always work for some people too, because some people may say, I don't want to be a burden and put me in a home. It's a totally different ball game when you're facing that, though. So putting yourself in that situation, or trying to put yourself in that situation and finding what you can do. No one is going to treat you as good as your loved ones. And I say loved ones because they're loved ones, not family members, loved ones. Not all family members are acting like loved ones. So your loved ones, they're coming with a different side, with compassion, with understanding, with knowledge, knowing your background, which we bump heads and we get back to the lovey-dovey side.
Right.
That isn't necessarily what's happening in the nursing home. And there's going to be a mix of what you're seeing in the nursing home. There are some good people, there are some bad. I feel like nursing homes get such a negative light, which there are some good ones. Again, there are people who love what they do, compassion, and they will tell you. There's even been moments where Dad couldn't, where he was there for a little bit, for a little time, like a weekend or something, and you could tell the difference in the nurses.
Yes.
So you know the ones who are legit, you know the ones who are faking it for you, and you know the ones who you're like, don't send him back to his room. But yes, I think it's seeing what can you handle. Do you have the time? Because I don't want others to feel bad that if they can't allow that time, they're still keeping them there, because there's nothing like having a loved one not being cared for appropriately. Meaning if you're working and you have to work to, now you're taking care of them, they're now your baby, and you can't allow that time, then it's not going to be helpful for you to do them that disservice. But I think it worked out really nicely for us, because when my mom's not there, I'm there, and vice versa. And when she's having caregiver fatigue, which is a thing, I'm able to step in and not only help for him and then, hey, Mom, let me do that, but then also for her too. And it's finding that balance, getting rejuvenation, knowing when you need to take a break, but it's all about support. And so if that's something you can handle, then yes, by all means, go forth with it. And that was something that we worked out. It just worked out in our favor. Lots of prayer, lots of prayer, lots of prayer,
Yes.
lots of Jesus, or whichever higher calling, lots of it. Because you need somebody to depend on those days when you're questioning yourself, questioning your situation. You need that energy from another source.
And you know what? I totally agree with you about the nursing homes, because sometimes I can't remember what it's called. I think it's respite or respite. I can't remember, respite.
Yep,
and it does help with it does help. You are so silly. It does help a lot with the fatigue. You know, he'll go there sometime, and I remember it was one he went to for the weekend. I'm the RnBEmpress, but I'm gonna tell you, I was ready to turn that place upside down. I was ready to go off with their heads, okay? So, and not just for him, but because of how they were treating the other residents that were there. And if I could, I would have just went down a phone book and said, come pick up your loved one, because they're not doing a good job. But then there was one he went to, and I'm like, how you get all this junk? Okay, y'all keeping up on his medicine? Okay. Oh, okay, he's waving bye-bye to us. Okay, all right.
It gives him a break too, because he's been putting up with your stuff too. They are still human. They are not going to love you all the, they're not going to like you all the time. They're going to love you all the time. They're not going to like you all the time.
That's right. That's right. And again, I don't want to hold you too long, but I want to thank you so much. I'm proud of you. You're gorgeous. You're the real life Doc McStuffins. Okay.
Well, my little Lammy, aka your average pity.
I seen her walk away.
Or Summer Dog. She did. She came back. She left us for a second. She came back.
Hey, Bella. Yeah.
She can't hear you having headphones.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Well, tell her auntie said, hey, again, I want y'all to go get your lip gloss. You see, we still have not even touched up our lip gloss, okay? Make sure you hit up Tyra Goss, and her email, I think it was, I'm looking at different stuff, Tyra Goss, Tyra Goss, Goss, at gmail.com with Gloss It Up, hashtag Gloss It Up, up with 2 P's. Make sure next
When
time
it's
you
up,
get your...
and it's up, when it's up, then it's up.
I can't dance too much because my back is messed up, but this is
No,
helping
don't
a
do
lot.
it.
Make sure you get your barefoot. I'm telling you, this stuff is good. This is some good stuff, okay? And where can they find you, at least on
Oh,
social
I am
media?
not savvy with these things. As far as like my, what do they call it now? Handles? That's sad because I'm not
That-
even old. Um,
That's what they call them. I just say, what's your screen name? See? We ain't talking
so
about that.
Cinnappuccino on IG.
There
It's
you
weird, but
go.
it's a mix of cinnamon and cappuccino. Just take the front and the back end and pop it together. And then that's
Okay.
me. And then on
All
Facebook, it's just my name, Krista Hagen. And it's with a
all
Y
right. Make sure
and it's with
you
a
let
K.
them know it's Dr. Chris,
No
because for
L.
some reason, doctors under a certain age or a certain thing, they want to think you the nurse or the tech. And it's like, no,
Nope,
you done been in school. You done earned
I'm your
your
doctor.
okay?
Yeah.
Sometimes I
Not
feel
only that,
obligated.
but they don't always want to recognize veterinarians as doctors. We treat several species, so we are important too.
Sometimes I want to call you Dr. Little Sister just because I feel obligated to do that, okay? Because you earned your...
You don't have to do that. We're not in a professional setting. It's okay. It's okay.
I love you. I'm proud of you. And I thank you so much, gorgeous. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. All right. I love you
And
even more.
you better. Uh,
Okay. Okay.
and if anybody want to see the show or
Somebody
did
being
not get
inside
the
out.
beginning, you will see it here on Instagram and it will also be on YouTube. Thank you all that keep on coming back. And for my new viewers, thank you so much. My album will be released March 26th. You
Woo-hoo.
want to find me, just put in Google Lena Michelle, or you can put in hashtag RnBEmpress. I will pop up. I'm trademarked. I'm a business. Here we go. Thank you again. Oh, got a question. Somebody said, what's your favorite donut?
Oh, oh, that's hard. Right now, I am fasting. What you about to take me there? Um, I would say a French curler. It just melts in your mouth. It has that nice outside with the glaze, and then you
Lord,
bite into it, and you took one bite, and then before you know it, the whole donut went in your mouth, and it disappeared. It's worse
did
than
you
cotton
just
candy.
baby D the donut? Start
I
describing it.
did. I can smell it. Oh, that's what happens when you haven't had it in a while.
What's Dad's favorite donut? I want to see if you, because he hasn't had sweets a lot.
Yes. Might have gave him a cookie the other day,
I
but
still remember it.
I want him to enjoy his time right now. So I mean, it's give and take. I want him to be healthy, but at the same time, ain't nothing like wanting something and then you don't get it at
That's
all.
right.
So you can have a cheat day, Daddy. You can have a cheat day. Daddy loves chocolate, double chocolate, chocolate on chocolate. The chocolatiest you can get is Daddy.
Yep, that is true. That's true. Thank you so much. And Bella, can you get Bella to show her face?
She's
Because I
been
know she...
side eyeing for the last couple of minutes. I don't know if you've seen her. Come
Hi,
here,
pretty
Mama.
girl.
Show it up. That's Mommy's little angel.
Because she went to school
Look
with
at
you
that.
too, so.
Boop. Okay, I'm sorry. Mommy's embarrassing you. Okay, I'm so sorry. Mommy, don't
And
be
Auntie
touching my
Deb, we love
nose.
you too.
Auntie Deb.
Love you too. Thank you so much. I ain't seen you sip your wine. Sip your wine one more time. Stop it and sip the wine. Yeah, Sip it one more time. There we go. We don't have anybody for April yet. We have some prospects, but if any of you guys know anyone, females preferred. I mean, but if there's a male out there that you want to see get interviewed, let us know. All races, all backgrounds. If they're doing something for themselves and you feel that they need to be here and get them views and people need to get to know them, let me know. Hit me up. Again, this will be on YouTube. The last video, I think, got over 1,200 views. Yeah. So thank you all for being here. And thank you so much, Dr. K, Doc McStuffins. I love you. I love you all. Thank you. See you at the first of the month. See you at the first of the
It's the
month
first
next
of the
month.
month.
You told what?
It's the first of the month.
We do not own the views or own that song. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We don't.
Make sure you don't feel like Michelle's. All right.
Yes.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
All right. Love you. Bye.
She said she got her jack. I'm gone. Love you, Auntie Deb. Love y'all. Bye.
Love you, Auntie.